Whoa! What's up? Welcome back. We just did a live, me and Christina, Marilyn from the Old Tree Shop. She's coming back on. And, it just asked me this new thing, which was hey, what's up, ladies? We're pulling tarot cards for the new moon. So crazy. It asked me to upload immediately to my IGTV.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was like, that's never happened. So I put in some deets really quick. And when we are back, I got to make sure you're tagged in it and all that stuff. But
awesome. Maybe they updated it so you could just do that, right?
They must have, which, thanks Instagram.
Because I've never seen it. So that's fabulous.
Yeah, so I made us a new series under it. That's Witch Coffee Talk.
That's so awesome. I love it.
So if you want a card for the new moon in Gemini, we're pulling each of them a card from our deck. We got big decks.
We got big decks, baby.
Big deck energy today.
They're talking to each other very nicely.
Yeah, honestly. So use that question thing on your bottom scroll. It has a question card. Put in your question or some emojis. Generally, we're doing the new moon in Gemini.
Yes.
Do you ever make new moon water? I assume you do. Yeah. So when new moon water is, what would you say that you would, I mean, I can think of a million different ways that it would be different, but I'm curious, do you specifically use your new moon water for one thing rather than your full moon water?
With my new moon water, I usually use it for growing energy cells.
Yeah.
So if I'm trying to grow seeds, and let's just talk, I'll put new moon water into my pots to help grow,
Germinate the seeds.
Exactly.
So Maddie Riggs, we got your question here. We're going to pull cards for you.
Oh, is this a love question?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Apparently it is. I got the Ace of Cups, but also that came with it is the Chariot. So I got two that popped out here. And, the Ace of Cups and the Chariot is this divine mission of generosity and new love, ready to go forward as far as, so remember, the romantic notions, when it comes to the Chariot, if we're talking about love, cut the shit with the romantic notions. No one's perfect. No relationship's perfect. And you deserve someone who gets you and loves you. So including yourself,
right.
With Venus retrograde, I posted, it's you are your own long lost love. And I fucking believe that fully with my heart. When we were young, we were talked out of systematically, very programmedly to hate ourselves. I don't know many women who survived unscathed through that young part of our lives in this society without that. So if there's lingering stuff in your adulthood where you literally look at yourself and have any thoughts of ugh, if there's any of that left, root it out. Root
exactly.
it out. And that doesn't always mean yanking it really quickly and sometimes that means really just massaging those roots, getting really clear of where that happened. And, but you're beginning, this is a new beginning of era of generosity and love and feelings of actual connection, heartfelt connection. So, and I said, with the Chariot, this is the card of movement and pomp and circumstance. So if there's any extra stuff, then cutting it away and really being clear about what it is that you want in a relationship, what it is that you want to feel about yourself, about your partner, and start to work on those new beliefs.
Okay, you ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
I'm loving this so much.
Of course.
I got priorities. So, oh my God. Priorities talks about stop wasting time.
Yeah.
It talks about, when you have that Ace of Cups coming in, that's a newness of that emotional aspect, right? Mm-hmm. And so think about that emotional aspect more along the lines of loving yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that first.
yeah. And when the priorities card comes into play, that talks about making the most of our time. It talks about not playing those games anymore. And it talks about remembering and acknowledging that every single day that you wake up is a gift. No matter how shitty that day goes, it's still a gift. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And you have the option of you. I like that one. You have the option of you.
Yeah.
You have the option of taking that time for you. Yeah. So take it and put self-love as number one priority.
And I love this as like, if this is your horse pulling this cart, like, it's just put your heart in your cart. That's what, you know, you need to pull yourself around, be with yourself, love the fuck out of yourself, and don't take shit from people who don't see that. And that it doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. It just means you don't have to give them any airtime, especially as new moon in Gemini. Remind yourself, you don't have to listen to them. Their beliefs are not your priority. No. You know, that's a good message for me. That's why I'm rubbing my third eye about it.
Others expect of you is just that. What others expect of you is just that. That's their expectation.
Yeah, it's their issue, their problem.
What do you expect of you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Love the fuck out of yourself. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yes.
Yes.
By the way, all of my tarot readings end up that way. No, just spoiler alert. All right, we've got a couple more. Let's see. Corey's next. She says, card for communicating sensitive things. Very Gemini energy, this communication business. Yes. Venus retrograding through Gemini is going to help with that sensitivity, so feel into that for sure. Let's see what the cards say. Communicating sensitive things. Ooh. Okay. You cannot respond quickly at your first, like, this is the card of like, hey, I don't know all the information, but I'm gonna fucking swoop in and fix everything because I think I know best. So this card is just saying, really be careful of your assumptions. Check in with your assumptions. Maybe check in with somebody who may have insight into what this other person who's not like you is feeling, so that you can be aware of your blind spots. This is a card of really recognizing you have blind spots, you have confirmation bias. So when you're looking for a mirror in others, and Gemini energy is really good at this, we can see the energy of others. It's reflected back. So we think everyone's like us. They're not. So yeah, rushing to conclusions, rushing to assumptions. Notice that your first thing you think is not necessarily the thing you should say, especially during this time. So yeah, dialing it back, and making sure you have good information about what it is that, especially what you're feeling, but also what the other person is feeling. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying walk on eggshells and tell people things they want to hear, right? But it is making sure you don't just swoop. Don't make that quick decision. Wait. I will help you see the truth.
So I thought, clear your energy.
Yeah. This is the clean your mirror.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So when Jen's card talks about make sure you have information, don't just swoop in, trying to take control, trying to tell people that they're doing things incorrectly.
Yeah.
Things like that. And you're talking about sensitive information, right? So sensitive messages, okay? So this talks about clearing your energy. And it says you need to move through your fears to bring on change. Ganesh is clearing the obstacles that have been impeding your progress. Removing of these obstacles will bring a shift in your consciousness. That's really important.
Ooh, yeah.
And it says with destruction comes creation. So if you're having that shift in your consciousness, that means you need to physically take a minute before you say something and remember that all of us are individuals.
Yeah.
We all have our own feelings. We all have our own ways of doing. And honestly, think about how you would feel if someone did this to you, and really, really be honest about how you would feel, you know? And that's definitely a way to help change that consciousness, which will allow you to give any message that you need to give in a more compassionate and empathetic way.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I love that. That's, I mean, both of those, it's very clear your perception, the swords. Like,
Yeah.
that's so, this is that air energy again. And Gemini really works best when the mirror is clear. Like, again, it's this mirroring. So we want to see ourselves and others. If our perception is cloudy with all of our assumptions, there's no way
Right.
to actually see each other clearly.
Correct.
And so checking your assumptions, I really love the work of Brené Brown with this, to lean in and say, you know, the question is a very simple question. If somebody's arguing their reality with me, I just say, is that true? So if someone says, God, you don't even know what I'm thinking, is that true? Tell me more.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what you're thinking so I know. Rather than, you know, saying, I know what it is, blah, 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 you know, having that, this banter discourse.
Right.
You know, because people just argue each other's reality constantly. And it's like,
Correct.
it's your reality. Okay, you've come to it.
We are not all knowing, especially when it comes to other people's lives. Shit, we're not all knowing when it comes to our own lives. So don't walk into another person's life and I'm not saying that you are.
No, not at all.
Don't walk in there and think that, okay, I know how to handle this problem, so this person needs to do it this way, you know?
But you will have your way, right? We all have our opinions, we all have our way, and we can always say, like, if I were in their situation, I would be doing this.
Yes.
And I think that's really easy to assume that we would do it that way when we would be in that situation. But that's not always true, because we never know where people are at, right? Obviously. So yeah,
Exactly.
Clean your perception, ask for more information. That's the other message of that Knight of Swords, that Son of Swords. It's like, ask for more information instead of assuming you know the truth and acting on it. So ask for more information. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. Especially if somebody's accusing you of something or being insensitive, or if the communication has been broken, so there's distrust.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've started practicing is, you know, when somebody comes to me with an issue, I ask them, would you like my opinion? Would you like my help?
Yeah.
Or would you like me to sit here and listen to you? Because I'm fine if you just need an ear.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If you need to be seen, you need to be heard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Do you want my input, or do you want me to just be here for you?
Well, it's somebody withholding information, she says. So if you already know that this person is withholding information, I think you already know that a secret is being kept. So think about what next steps you want to take with more of a clear mind than an angry mind or a suspicious mind or something like that.
I think questions like, I think questions like, especially when I look at the Son of Swords, like you thinking you know what the whole thing is, which is okay, right? He's your dad. You probably have a lot of intuition about this stuff, right?
Right.
Questions like, is there something you want to share with me that you feel like you can't share?
Right.
Is there something that you feel like I can't handle? Is there something that we, you know, need to talk about?
Right.
You know, letting them know that you can handle their heaviness. Some people, you know, really, especially I would say the former generations have a hard time thinking people can take on their burdens. And that paralyzes them, and then they, you know, stuff it down. And then, you know, it causes, I mean, I honestly believe my grandmother, the way she stuffed her emotions caused her cancer. I believe that that's kind of the energy of cancer in and of itself, although of course it has other factors. And but giving your dad a pass and saying like, hey, I'm strong, I can handle your weight. You did this for me when I was young. You did this for me. You carried me.
Right.
Let me carry you, you know? And even if that's the end of the conversation and he does, that will plant the seed. Plant that seed.
He will receive that message.
Yeah.
And when he is ready to talk to you, he'll be ready. And that's the one thing about clearing your energy too. We need to not be so forceful on people and expect them to give us the information that we're looking for.
Right.
Because a lot of people, like, I'm like, you know what? You're a fucking asshole. That's what I
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, but like, we all need to take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to give him this message. I'm hoping that he's going to receive it. And even if he doesn't let me in right now, I'm just going to hope that he will in the future. And if he doesn't, I need to respect that that's his decision.
Right. And he has his reasons, even if you don't understand them.
Right. Right. Do we have another one?
Yeah, we do.
Hopefully it helps.
Yeah, we've got a couple more. So Cece, what insights do I need to navigate? Let me make sure there's not a second part to this. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. These cards are just flying out as I'm like.
You know that they want to be pulled then.
Me too. I know. Okay. Cece, I got the 10 of Wands. Yeah. And now listen to the witch's cackle. So let's break this down. You know, wands are fire energy. It's action. It's creative energy. The 10s represent this really completion of a cycle, something that's ready to be composted so that there's room for new. So this disseminating moon, this time through the new moon, it's really looking at what you've created, being really clear about what was good, what was bad, and clearing up the mess. It's really literally clearing up your mind and your creative cycle so that you can make room for a new one, because you're ready. You're ready for something new to come in. And so now the job is composting. And actually you're probably going to have to, you know, decide what goes forward and what stays in that past. So be very diligent about the pruning time right now. That's what's happening.
Oh, I agree with that one completely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I got empowerment. So the insight that you need to embrace in this is your own empowerment. Rely on your inner strength to ensure your dreams are realized. You cannot ensure your dreams are realized if you're still holding on to old branches, right?
Yeah, it's sticking time.
Yeah, because those branches are going to break because they're old.
Yeah.
So you need to let them go. And really, Ganesha says the blessing of Ganesha is sensing your personal power, being confident, responsible, and reliable. The energy from this card is a feeling of optimism and positive energy. So if you're not seeing that already and you're questioning, you know, how you need to open to see this, first of all, I have a feeling that you're cutting on yourself, not physically, but mentally. I got a feeling that you're talking nasty to yourself. And secondly, when we decide to let go of those old projects, it's scary as fuck. We know that we've put our energy into those projects, so they're kind of like our babies, and it's kind of like pushing a child away. So it's really scary, right? But you need to really sit down and connect with that beautiful inner power, that inner guidance, which is you. Goddess is in you. Connect with that and say, what do I need to rid myself of? What branches am I still hanging on to that are going to break and I'm going to hurt myself?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And especially, it's so, what branches are going to break? Like, you can't act like all of them are strong. They're not. No. And if you've been coddling those branches in order to like keep them and saying, oh, well, I don't hang on that one anymore because I know it's not sturdy. You know, it's time to let the tree grow, you know, with that having been cut away in some way. And as we complete cycles, especially creative cycles, you know, we come to these new levels where we don't show up the same way. We can't have the same relationships with people. We can't have the same relationship with ourselves. It's different.
Right.
So,
Right.
so if it's about relationship and co-creation of it, it can be creating a new vision, that optimistic vision. Say, if we were to be really optimistic about what this next part looks like, how do we want to communicate? How do we want to, you know, especially thinking about the Gemini piece and the, you know, what do we value together that we can connect with? Or if it's with a project or something, it's like, what is the connective tissue that what is the same about all the things that now I can level up, now I can make it stronger. And I'll take out the pieces that I thought were the be all.
Exactly.
And say, no, okay, that worked for that time, but now it's new. So welcoming
Exactly.
in that new, and at the new moon, you know, letting go of some old stuff. And then at the new moon saying, you don't know what it is, I'm ready to receive the new vision, right?
Right.
Because that communicative time and all through Mercury retrograde, once it starts, ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Because Mercury's in Gemini right now too, by the way. So, I mean, it's all sorts of Gemini situations.
And also think about this too, because Venus being in retrograde, when we're deciding to let go of those old branches, sometimes, and with people talking in our ear, oh, why'd you let that go? Oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
You put so much time and effort into that. Why did you do it? And then
or I thought that was like your whole thing, or whatever.
Exactly. I thought that's who you were. And then we start feeling that guilt, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have let that go.
Yeah.
Fuck
Have
that.
I abandoned myself?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
You
And
know
fuck
best.
them if they don't just say, hey man, awesome for you, going down that path that you want to go on, living your dreams.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So we have one more in the question thing, and then we also have one. I see you, Kathlina. So we'll get to you. So Ginny asks, I would love a card addressing my emotional self and confidence. You're going to get two. I love you. Ginny's one of my Astrologic Lab scientists.
I love it. Scientist. I love it. I love it so much.
And she's a friend of Laura's, who's my personal lawyer.
I love it.
All right. And again, they're just, you know, coming out. All right. Another 10. We got the 10 of Pentacles here.
Wow. Lots of endings.
Yeah. So noticing the ending that maybe energetically 6 months ago, right, with the new moon in Scorpio, what happened around that time? October, November, what happened around that time that began, that now it's time to close up shop with, maybe, especially when it has to do with financial stuff. So if there's been a completion of a cycle around an investment or something that is needing to be budgeted, there's something that, you know, it's time to really look fresh. And this is really the end of that cycle in terms of abundance, right? So there's been an abundance cycle. You're looking at and reevaluating what's next. So, and it's a really good, healthy, happy home, right? So this is a big part of gratitude as well. So,
Yes.
I think setting an intention for receiving the new abundance that will come in. Yeah, damn this budget. I know she's got a lot going on in that 10th house too.
Well, I got,
or in that second house,
positive outlook.
And these are both very positive cards.
When we're looking at the 10 of Pentacles, you're talking about a foundational aspect, you know, so
like you poured the layer.
Exactly. So if you are starting that, let's just call it a day. If you're starting that day by putting your feet on the floor and saying, oh, fuck, I'm so fucking tired. It's another fucking day. You're going to have that day. And it's going to suck. And so when we talk about positive outlook, I mean, it is plain and simple. How you feel depends completely on your own mental attitude.
Yeah.
So And with Gemini coming in and Venus in retrograde and all those things, how are you talking to yourself? How are you, how's your health? How's your physical aspect? You know, says the many faces of Ganesha reflect how you feel about the different aspects of your life. Spirituality, health, finances, relationship, and emotional well-being. All of those are pentacle.
Yeah.
All of those are foundational aspects, even every single one of them. So when it comes to changing that foundation, first of all, you're going to have to take a sledgehammer and hit some shit up. And that hitting shit up is all in how you're perceiving not only your surroundings, but how are you perceiving your personal self when you look at yourself every day. Affirmations for you would be amazing to do. And I would say that, you know, like Jenny said, you know, coming into this new moon, definitely building seeds for more abundance of self-love, self-worth, foundational healing and foundational growth.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I mean, and again, you know, this is, you know, it's the end of a cycle of like, you know, if, you know, you get to say that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of my favorite things to do to my mind is like, if it's talking shit, it's like, that's enough. Thanks.
Right.
Enough already.
Right. And then also when you're talking shit about yourself to yourself, it's time to say, why am I doing this to myself? Why? What's going on around me? What's going on inside of me that I'm talking this way to myself and treating myself?
And by the way, it's not wrong or bad, right? No need to shame yourself. It's very normal. It's a human response. That's a human response to the patriarchy, as far as I'm concerned.
But if you don't acknowledge it, you're not going to be able to heal it.
You got to take your power back. And you can listen to Rage Against the Machine about it.
Go buy a sledgehammer, Jenny.
A sledgehammer.
Go buy one.
And an old printer.
Yeah.
I'm going to start.
Stop Matrix, motherfucker.
I know. Sending blessings. Okay, so Kathlena was next. If you want a card, you can put it in the question box. Kathlena put one in the thing. Some people don't have the question box, so I'm assuming that's what happened or whatever. So Kathlena says, I would love a card reading card question. What is hidden that I'm ready to work on that is of my highest good during the next moon cycle? Love this question.
I love that.
If you are watching this live replay, and this could be a good question for you too, but Kathlena, these cards are for you.
Repeat that question again, my love.
What is hidden that I'm ready to work on that is of my highest good during this next moon cycle? So beginning with the new moon.
Lady, go break that tab.
Did you see that? They literally they jumped up like fish out of my fucking.
They want to talk, girl.
They're like, let's talk. That's, you know why? Is because I haven't used this deck in about 3 months.
Oh.
Because it kept coming up with the same stuff, and I was like, and I got all these other decks that I've been using and stuff. And so when I picked it up today, it was like, hi, lover, what's up? So so she's like ready to talk. Okay. Judgment and the 10 of Cups.
Oh God.
They both just like bah, bah, bah. So like, listen, you don't have to be happy all the time. And if you don't feel happy all the time, that doesn't mean something's gone horribly wrong. That means you're human and that life is 50-50, 100%. So if, as far as the question, like what's hidden that I'm ready to work on, you know, especially like I what's coming through is if you deal with this perception that if I'm a spiritual person, I should look this way. If I'm a person of meaning or value, it should look this way. Noticing what you're discerning, what you're making yourself mean when you show up in a certain way. So if you're experiencing anger or things that aren't, you know, that kind of brand of spirituality, or it feels off, you know, notice what judgments you're making about yourself. This card is also about rising above the chatter. So some of it's really about, you know, all the judgment that happens in the human existence, especially on the internet these days.
Yes.
Rising up and having a higher vibe without righteousness, without this feeling of I'm like, my higher self is my higher self knows something your higher self can't possibly know. But the feeling is that too, this is really to me about, you know, really finding relationships that reflect your values and your heart. And so again, I think it's like together these can kind of say, like, make sure you know who you're letting into your mind to influence you and into your heart. And again, connect with the heart so that you're not living in kind of judgment about yourself or others, because that can create a lot of suffering.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I got sustenance. So when sustenance comes into play, it talks about enjoying the nourishment that life can give you. You're in a time of abundance, that 10 of Cups, where there's more than enough to support and nourish your desires. So stop judging yourself so you can.
Yeah. It should be this way. Really? Yeah. Is it?
Well,
okay.
Ganesha encourages you to appreciate all the blessings, treats, gifts, friendships, and love surrounding you now. Yeah. Nourishing your soul can mean finding interesting, exciting, and stimulating ways to experience life. This is a time to learn, grow, and change, especially when we have the Gemini new moon coming into play.
Yeah.
First, I would love for you to, at the full moon, write that letter of gratitude, acknowledging the gifts that you've received, even the ones that you thought were shitty before.
Yeah, if you thought it was a box of shit, like,
yeah, they're actually, yes. So write that letter of gratitude to the moon and talk about the things that are around you that are nourishing your soul. And remember, the more you remind yourself that I have so many gifts around me and I am so grateful for this, number one, the less you're going to judge yourself. Number two, the less you're going to hear the judgment from other people. Number three, you're going to build up that inside authenticity. And number four, you're going to continue receiving that abundance because that's what you're putting out into the universe.
Yeah, like that's what this is. So it's like, open the channel. You know, open that channel so that there's this exchange of abundance that's really heart connected, and releasing that judgment of what it should look like. You know, especially, you know, by the way, you know, thinking about this last cycle with the womb work and tearing, you know, what connects us as females, especially, we're all women here. I guarantee most of the people who are watching this replay also have feminine energy that they've been allowing to really come forward and rise to the occasion. We are healing the kinds of conditions that women have seen themselves in under restraint for a really long time. This is what Saturn and Jupiter are trying to do, and what Pluto are trying to do. It's reconciling the mother, the feminine, the reception with the father. That Cancer Capricorn node we just came out of, we're going to have one more eclipse in Cancer for the solstice. But this next full moon in Sagittarius, like you say, that letter of gratitude, it's in the sign of Sagittarius. And it's beginning this whole eclipse cycle where all the eclipses will be in Sagittarius and Gemini. And so starting that cycle with the letter of gratitude is a really beautiful way to open yourself to receive.
You bet.
Yeah. And not be afraid of that big vision of what that looks like, because Sagittarius will show the fuck up for you.
You know, the thing that keeps us from achieving so much in life is fear. And part of that fear is the fear of judgment from others.
Yeah.
And when we can put that to the side, it is a huge healing moment for ourselves. Because would we really be judging ourselves so much if we weren't hearing that chirping from other assholes judging us?
Like literally, if you can hear that I mean, I like the rubber and glue game. Like, whatever people are like, wow, that seems really tough, or are you sure you can do that? It's like they're just questioning themselves. It has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
But
You
like,
bet.
you know, so it's like the rubber and glue game, but also just noticing that, yeah, if you're allowing that chirping to really tell you how to feel about yourself, that is like eroding everything that you actually are, slowly and surely. And so, and it doesn't mean you have to resist against it. You just don't have to, you don't have to believe those things. So,
No.
and you can also imagine, be like, wow, what if they said the opposite thing? Like, if you, especially if you have people in your life who you really love, like your parents or your siblings, who just don't get what you're doing. I know, you know, and it's like when I lost my job, and I told them I wasn't going to get another one. I was like, well, I have a business. I don't need a job. I have a business. And they're like, oh, you know, it's like, if I was like, yeah, I have fucking going all in on myself. So, you know, yeah. You gotta
Okay.
believe.
Do we have another question?
Were you saging me? I am. I'm saging anyone who, this is not sage though, it's Palo Santo.
Palo Santo.
Which I prefer, to be honest. But I have these sticks that I've had for a long time, and I'm not buying new sticks of Palo Santo. Now I'm growing sage in my garden. So
Good.
okay. Are there other questions? There's none in the thing. Did anyone else want a card? We're gonna regulators mount up. Ginny and Laura are amazing. I'm coming by for the sledgehammer shit. They live in Virginia, and they're like, she's like, yeah, we're gonna fucking smash some shit. Do it. It's amazing. Yeah, if you want a card, Amanda, I think you might be the only one watching that hasn't had one. If you want one, and then I gotta move on my day, I think.
We're gonna draw one for her, whether she wants
one or
not.
Suzette said she wants a card, so we'll do Suzette first.
Okay.
And then we'll let her simmer. All right, Suzette.
Do you have a specific question, Suzette, or you just want to go with the flow, baby? Oh, and Cynthia's on here too. Okay.
Okay.
I say we just draw for Suzette.
Yeah.
I don't think a specific question.
No. All right. I got the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is this deep kind of karmic emotional healing. It has often to do with triggers of old family stories. I know this is something you've been processing for a number of years. So this disseminating moon, all this energy we're talking about, as you know, receiving the blessing of letting it dissolve, right? The Scorpio full moon was super powerful. So you might even do a ritual of writing a letter and then putting it in a huge bowl of water and putting it under the new moon and letting it dissolve, and then fucking put it out somewhere, flush it down the toilet, whatever, because they are ready to be done. The story is over. It is complete. And then you can write a new story where you're the heroine of your own adventures going forward. That cycle is complete. And it'll ripple back. This is also, you know, the ancestral wounds, the generational stuff. So this energy is actually deeply karmic. And when we get to the Sagittarius eclipse moon, I think that it will amplify that message into the universe. So, and the wind just picked up. So, you know, I know you've been, Suzette's got her Chiron return happening. And it's in Capricorn, right? With all this shit going through Capricorn. She's got her sun, her moon in Capricorn. She's got all this stuff going on. So you definitely want to take time to really dissolve that away in this powerful disseminating moon this week before Friday.
Yes, agreed. I have, and this goes with the Six of Cups really well. I have embrace. So when we're talking about your Chiron coming back into play, that wounded healer coming back into play, and we talk about the Six of Cups, that remembering of old emotions that could have come up, especially during that Scorpio full moon, that emotional pain and karmic connection and hurt and all of those things. When we talk about that, my door just closed.
Yes, it did, and I watched it happen. Did your kids do that? I'm gonna need an update.
I don't know. We're gonna have to rewind that. Okay,
karmic shit just left the room. Like,
so when we talk about, especially that Six of Cups coming into play, that brings back those old emotional memories in our lives, and sometimes they're great and sometimes they hurt. And so when we are talking about the beautiful embrace, one way to let go of those karmic cords, one way to heal that past is by hugging that little girl you were.
As soon as you pulled that card, that was my that was the mental image I had of just like,
yeah, and so
hold her little face and kiss her little cheeks.
Exactly. When you bring that little girl back into your mind, give her a hug and let her know, no matter what happens in your life, you are worthy of receiving love. You're worthy of receiving love. And you will find, right when you do that and you say, I love you, remember always that you're worthy of receiving love, you will feel a shift. And that shift within
like a time wobble.
Oh yeah, it'll be a complete release of, okay, that's all stuff I can let go of now, because I know subconsciously that I am worthy of receiving love, and I'm worthy of receiving healing, and I know that I'm strong enough to heal because I just did.
Yeah. And I give quality love, right? Like when you merge and you love yourself, your own, and that's deep work.
Oh, it is. It is.
And especially with, the way that that Cancer Capricorn axis, all these, we're going to have Mercury retrograding through Cancer, and last year's one was in Cancer. It's about healing the inner child. So we're all kind of cycling in this way. And the more we can embrace that raw sense of emotional wounding that happened and saying like, ooh, you were beautiful then, you're beautiful now, you deserve the love. And what's even better is that as an adult, I know exactly what you need. And it's that reparenting aspect. It's beautiful work. And you can wake up and think it every morning,
Yep.
Okay, right. So we've got Cynthia, I believe, and then Amanda, if you're still here, drop something so we know.
All right, let's do one for Cynthia.
Cynthia,
if you have a question, make sure you post it really quick. If not, we're just going to draw for basic information.
She just says, I'll take a card too, please.
Okay, perfect. Amanda, you'll be next. Okay.
It always takes like...
I know.
30 seconds, and it's like...
You're welcome, love.
Yeah, you're welcome. I love you, Suzette. Amanda says job, but we're doing Cynthia right now. Cynthia says basic info is okay, thanks. Okay, perfect. All right, Cynthia. Ooh. So 4 of Pentacles. So 4 of Pentacles has an energy of a little bit of like micromanaging. Are you kind of like trying to, there's a tether between it being this really perfect union of a well-oiled machine, and has that vision gotten out of hand, and now you're like running around thinking everything has to be perfectly running in order for it to be good. So it can be stagnant energy and can be really good. So it's kind of, so I'm interested to see what your card says, but because this can be stagnant energy that needs movement. It can be like, wow, you've really got your shit together and you're ready to kind of like level up as well. But there can be a little micromanaging, tendency to over control, try to control all the things you can't control.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
notice where you are on that spectrum, and notice what's good for your health, right? If there's suffering coming up because things aren't perfectly aligned, letting go what can't be controlled, right? You can't control everything. So notice what it is that you can control, which is really three simple things. It's your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. That's it. And your feelings are attached to your thoughts. So if you have feelings you feel like are out of control, look to your thoughts. But the circumstances that you think are causing all your thoughts and feelings, that's not true. All circumstances are neutral, no matter how terrible you think they are. As soon as you attach an emotion or an opinion to it, you've made that circumstance unneutral. And every circumstance is neutral, no matter what. The coronavirus, completely neutral. It's not bad or good. People dying, completely neutral, because this is life. This is reality. When you argue with reality and you say, nobody should die, is that true? Right? And that's just like one of those, metaphors I'll use, or examples rather. But in your life, when you say, oh, so-and-so shouldn't be acting this way, is that true? If that were true, then they wouldn't be acting that way. Just a thought, right? You don't get to control their thoughts, feelings, and actions, only yours.
Okay. So on my end, I got divine support.
Okay, so that, yeah.
So they're all talking to each other.
They are. So it's like, no, it's about divine support. What does that look like?
So playing on that Four of Pentacles, what I'm going to put into this is your foundation that you need to be building any kind of spiritual, physical, abundant, money, health, all of that, needs to be the base of divine support. You need to understand that you have divine support. And when we talk about the divine support, you'll notice that that is the Om symbol. And the Om symbol is the voice of the cosmos. It's the voice of the universe. So when you can sit and connect with that beautiful Om, you're connecting not only to the earth, but you're connecting to the universe as well. So when you're balancing that aspect and you're sitting on that beautiful foundation of the Four of Pentacles, which is wonderful stability, you are really allowing yourself to build your future path on the aspect of, I know that I am fully supported by divine universe. Right. Yes. And I know that I am fully connected to divine universe. If you're going to write any affirmations, fucking write that one down and remember it every day, because we all are. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love how I went down this rabbit hole because, of the over control, but it is, I love that. Well, as like divine support. It's like, you're totally right about that, because if you try and take that fucking over control, then how are you going to connect? You can't like quiet the trust. With divine support, that becomes trust. It's like if you're wasting your energy going all and saying like, oh, I'll fix that, oh, I'll fix that. The divine support says, hey, I got you. You can build to the next level. Don't be afraid to actually, rest upon that foundation build. Exactly. I love that. Exactly. I love that. All right. Love that. Hi, Lindsay. How are you? If you're here and you want a card, let us know. We probably have about 10 more minutes. We've literally gone another hour because us witches love to chat. Miss Amanda wants one regarding job. Job. Let's jump into that. Is that Job from the Bible, or I'm just joking? And again, so Three of Wands. Nice. So, this is time to find a creative synergy with either you within yourself. By the way, Gemini is the third house, right? It's about exploratory growth. There's this sense that you get to be the plant.
You get to actually like just stretch out all of your branches, learn to communicate new language to yourself. So by understanding this creative vision of having synergy, right? And it may be bringing other people in, finding your team. It might be pulling your mind, body, and spirit together into a synergistic, you know, really aligning within, and especially with Mercury or Venus retrograding through Gemini, it's like aligning those values, aligning the internal, external, and the divine to kind of be within that really synergistic kind of relationship. So
I love that. And I love how that is about creativity. And so, and Amanda's extremely creative. So this one is
what a beautiful
understand.
card.
So gorgeous.
I
right?
love elephant eyes.
I know.
I really need this deck, Christina.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely amazing. So understanding is about clear vision is the gift of seeing with not only your physical eyes, but also with your spiritual eye. The eye of Ganesha symbolizes the state of grace that is reached through your willingness to do your spiritual work in this lifetime. And I know she's one of my dear friends, and she is ready to do this spiritual work. When you're talking about your job, Amanda, first of all, your job is to continue to be this creative, universal, galactic being that
right. You have a job associated like with the universe, right?
Yeah, she does. She really does. That is your job. Your job is to continue connecting into the universal sight and allowing that sight to express itself through your creativity.
Yeah.
You've got the 3 of Wands, which is that manifestation number. It's that collective number. Yeah. So remember, you have your friends, you have your tribe that are going to support you in this. And creativity and goal setting is tricky. I know, honey, but that's your commitment issues. So
look at where Virgo is in your chart, and when the moon's in Virgo, work on that shit. Because if you've got blocks around list making, that's your Virgo blockage.
Yes. So she goes, yes, and I'm in an 8-year, no pressure.
What does that mean? I'm in an 8. Oh, like as numerology. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, no pressure.
So bring that. You have the ability to see in a way that not a lot of people I know have. So use that ability and bring it out in your creative expression. That comes with your rune reading, your card reading, your painting, your drawing, all of those things. These are the ways that you communicate.
Is she teaching?
She's not teaching yet. I've asked her
so
to.
yeah, no,
but
an
she's
8 year and a 3 of Wands. It's fucking time to teach. You need a mentor. You're the mentor. If you're in any relationships where you're like, I need a mentor, no, you're the mentor now.
Yeah,
or in some way, right? Yeah. People are seeking you.
With that understanding card too, and we talk about teaching, let's talk about that for real. Stop being, number one, so hard on yourself. And
doesn't have to be perfect.
You're such a galactic viewer. It really surprises me that you don't see the universal amazingness within yourself. So let's work on that.
Yeah.
Let's work on that.
Because, and back to one of the others, clearing the perception. The Gemini new moon is perfect for cleaning the mirror. Get your spiritual Windex out. Clean the mirror. And you know what? That's a great new moon. My phone's gonna die. Going around to all your mirrors in your house and cleaning them, even if they're not dirty.
Yes.
And while you're thinking that, saying, I see myself clearly. I see myself clearly. You know, you can even smudge them if you want, or put crystals by them if you want, and charge your mirrors. But like, you know, find a way to welcome in that clear perception.
Right.
I love it.
Okay. Do we have time to do one more really quick?
Yes,
Because I
and
know we have.
Amber is
That's
said
it.
she wanted one. So this is the last
And then
one.
that'll be our last one.
And
Mhm.
yeah, just like, all right, babies. I'm just I'm just bleeding. Just I'm gonna go in afterwards. Like if I didn't have neighbors, like I'm just gonna go squat in the herb garden.
You're welcome, Amanda.
Yes, thank you
I'm
guys.
just gonna go take a pee. Excuse me.
All right, Amber, what do you need, huh? Oh, sexy time. So, this is really reconnecting to love, like a deep sense of love from a heart-centered and you know, I know you're married, so you might really decide to that this is like divine union. It's not just love, it's not just marriage. The lover's card is really about divine union. So that happens within you and then outside of you as well in several ways, right? You can have divine union with the divine. You can have divine union with other people. And it's all about that right relationship, that sense of being being with yourself, not trying to judge, control, change, whatever, being with all of the people that you are in union with. So really reinforcing that. And, this is very twin energy too, which is interesting with the Gemini piece of it. So recommitting to that union can be really powerful, I think, at this time. What you got, Christina?
Okay, I got delight. And with delight comes the reminder. If you are in this union thing and you're feeling that relationships are a little bit stagnant right now, even the relationship with yourself might be stagnant right now. One of the major things to remember is joy and delight.
Yeah.
And with delight comes laughter. Do some childlike things that bring joy to you. Act like a teenager once again, with your spouse, with yourself. Allow yourself to laugh, for Pete's sakes. Well, you can't, but watch some comedy shit on Netflix.
Yeah. Like
Allow
watch
yourself
American Pie or something.
Oh my god. So just allow yourself to bring back that childish laughter, and you will see how those relationships within yourself and outward will blossom once again and no longer be stagnant.
Yeah, I love that. Bringing that delight energy, to amplify that union is a beautiful way to reinvigorate. I'm trying to work on my happiness. So when we talk about affirmations too, notice your language.
Yeah,
I'm trying to work on my happiness. So you've already made happiness a job, which is okay. Like I think I love the word work, but
I know.
I love it.
But when you're trying something, you either do or you don't do.
Yeah, Yoda.
Just like Yoda says,
Yoda says it.
So you can say, like in an affirmation, you can say, I am happy. I am joyful. I am full of delight.
Or even if you're not, and that doesn't feel true, right? If you're like, wow, I'm not, that's a lie. Your brain knows that. So you can say, I'm capable of happiness. You can talk about your capacity of happiness. You can talk about your capacity of joy. You can actually meditate on like a balloon. You can think of a color of a balloon and you can blow it up and you say, I am capable of this expanding joy and happiness. I'm capable of it. Believing that first can help. Believing that first can help. And not having to change. Nothing has to change in your external world for you to receive the capacity for joy that you have, the capacity for delight that you have. It's available to you at any time because that's how we are made, just as sadness and depression are also available to us at any time.
And remember as well, even though we're going through this plague and all of this stuff that's happening, it's still okay to laugh.
Yes.
It's still okay to have
find joy. And in the next moment, feel like everything is hopeless. That's okay too. And then go back to remembering I'm capable of joy even through all of this. We have 9, 8. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I love you, Chris.